Hey you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Next Level. I'm gonna go right ahead and jump into the quote for this week. My phone died, so I'm using my laptop today, so you won't see my phone. But the quote reads as follows: sometimes you have to experience things for yourself in order to get through what others have been telling you to do all along. And so this one is good to me because I'm sure I probably mentioned it before, and if any of you guys know me, you know in my eyes, I have 2 children, even though I only birthed 1. And so Demore, Fat, that's my son, but my brother Kenyon came and lived with me when he was in 9th grade. And so from 9th grade through 12th grade, he lived with me, and I got him into his first year of college, and he decided to leave school and go move back home. For personal reasons. And so the reason why this quote was so special to me is because I feel like when I was his age and when I was in high school, I did not have anyone to necessarily point me in the right direction of, you know, what school to go, how to fill out financial aid, how to fill out a college application, how to write a college essay, tell me how to save money, how to invest, all these different things that I feel like I've just had to learn through living. Now that I know them, I want to sow that into him. And so, well, now at this time he's 20, but when he graduated high school, I'm like, okay, Kenyon, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. And even though it wasn't like I was trying to create his path for him, but what I was trying to do was lead him on a path or open up a path for him to where I knew he would be successful in the end. So Kenyon went to school his first year. We were on track to major in engineering and all of this and that. But Kenyon is a very different kind of a kid. Well, not a kid anymore. He's a very different kind of young adult. And so he definitely beats to his own drum, I will say. We're very, very different. And so about midway through his first year, he decided that he wanted to change his major from engineering to fashion design, which was totally cool. He has his own, you know, unique sense of fashion, you know, way more hip and cool than me. And so I was fine with that as long as he was staying in school and as long as he had a plan. I kept saying, that's fine. I don't care that you change your major, but I just need to know what your plan is. And that's what I always tell him: Kenyon, what's your plan? What's your plan? Like, anytime you come to me and you want to change your mind about something, I'm fine with that and I'm going to back you up, but what's your plan? How are you going to make it happen? And so he changed his major. We had actually planned for him to go and study abroad and all of this and that. And so needless to say, when he came to me and told me that he wanted to move back home and he was going to get out of school, I was devastated. I was crushed. And mainly because I kept saying, I know the path for him to take to be successful. I know it. I'm helping you. I'm helping map this out for you. And if you just do what I say, if you just do what I say just for a little bit, I'm telling you, 4 years is nothing in the bigger scheme of the rest of your life. Just listen to what I'm saying temporarily and I will have you set, because I don't want you to have to figure it out how I did. I don't want you to have to literally go broke in order to figure out and have to find your way back up, just to figure it out, just to live an okay life. And so, I mean, when I say mad, I was mad. You know, I can sit here today and I can talk to you guys about it, but I was mad, I was hurt. He and I were barely talking, and you know, that's not like us because we're extremely, extremely close. But I felt like he was just throwing his life away because he wasn't doing what I said to do. But you know, when it boils down to it, again, it wasn't necessarily because he wasn't doing what I wanted him to do, but I just know everything that I had to go through. I know every hurdle I had to get over. I know all the bumps and bruises that I had to endure to get where I am. And so I just thought it would be easier if I shed some light on him. My pastor says all the time that we need to have a mentor. And so I may not have been able to mentor him in fashion design, but I absolutely can mentor him in this thing that we call life. And so, and especially with as close as he and I are, there were not many things that I hid from him. So he knew the struggle that I went through, and I just didn't want, I thought that he wouldn't want to have to endure those same struggles. So I figured that he would allow me to help him to reach his next level and help put him on the right path. And so, yes, I was hurt and yes, I was upset, but at the end of the day, life is the greatest teacher ever. And although as parents, we don't want our kids to go through the same thing we went through, we don't want our children to experience the same hardships we went through, sometimes it's going to take just that. All I can do is pray and trust that any and everything that I instilled in him while he was with me, that he takes that with him. My work ethic, because I work very hard, the fact that I plan things out, the fact that I'm on a schedule, just different things like that. Like, I just hope that some of the things that I instilled in him will help him into reaching his next level and walking into his destiny. And all I can do at this point is pray for him, and then just be a listening ear anytime he calls me. And if he calls me and say, sometimes he's like, okay, Dominique, I need to talk to you about life. That's what he'll say. We need to have a conversation about life. And when he comes to me with that, I know that he's at a point where he needs to construct a plan, and we try to get that plan together. And I'm going to sit there on the phone and I'm going to say, okay, well, this is what you can do. This is what you can do. This is what you can do. But I tell my mom all the time, she's always like, well, can you call Kenyon and tell him that he needs to get back in school and this? And I say, I'm not going to call Kenyon and tell Kenyon that he needs to do anything, because Kenyon makes his own choices now. But when Kenyon decides that he wants to call me, I will always pick up the phone and help him come up with a plan. He has to execute that plan, but if he needs me to help him sort things out, I'll absolutely do that. But he has to decide where he wants to go. He has to decide how he's going to get there, and he has to pick up the phone and decide, and he has to decide to pick up the phone to call me and ask me for help. And when he does call me and ask me for help, that's when I know he's serious, because otherwise he won't call me. He'll just keep saying he's gonna do it. Oh, we need to talk. Oh, we need to talk. But when he really actually calls me and says, okay, I'm ready to do this, I'm gonna be right there for him, with him, side by side, helping him with whatever it is that he needs. So I'm going to read the quote one more time for you guys. It says, sometimes you have to experience things for yourself in order to get through what others have been telling you all along to do. And so even though I gave the example of my brother, this quote right here, it just goes far beyond just that. It goes far beyond our kids, which I'm an educator, and so I try to preach things to my students all the time, and all we ever do is just say, dang, I wish they would listen. And I know that I said one time in my video before that it wasn't until I got like in college that I started saying, dang, my mother was right about this, my mother was right about that. Like, everything I started saying, she was right about. And so not even just that, but even when we're talking to our friends, we can be like, girl, you need to get over that, old boy, and this, that, and the other. And I know it sounds so easy because we've been through it. We know the signs. We know what it looks like. We know what crazy looks like. We know what bipolar looks like. We know what this man is unstable looks like. But until they go through it, it doesn't matter what we say. And so at this point, all we can do is be of some support. I'll never forget, I was getting ready to make one of the biggest mistakes of my life. And my best friend, I called and told her, Quila, and she said, okay, Nick, well, I know you're not asking for my approval. You're asking for my support. And as a best friend, that's all I needed from her. And I give her that same respect, because we're adults now. When we make our own choices, whether they be right or whether they be wrong, we choose to bump our heads for whatever reason, and we have to go through the hurt and the pain that it causes in order for us to be like, dang, so-and-so was right, I should have listened. But hey, that's life. So I'm sorry, one more time, it says sometimes you have to experience things for yourself in order to get through what others have been telling you all along to do. So that was helpful for me. I hope that it was also helpful for you guys. Thank you, Kenyon, my brother, one of the absolute loves of my life, for the inspiration today. Don't forget, you can always call your big sis anytime you need anything. All right, YouTube, I love you guys. Make sure that you guys like this video. If it was helpful for you, send it to anybody that you think it may be of use to. And I want you guys to click that little red box. It says subscribe to my channel, share it on all your social media, and come back next week for another episode of Next Level. Bye, you guys.